Hi everyone, welcome to the ninth lecture of Ansible series, and in this lecture we will try to understand more towards conditions and vaults, why these are so important while using up automation. We will try to do a deep dive with practical demo. So let's start with conditions. Now, in most of the programming languages, we might have interacted with conditions like if else statement, when statement. As an example, if 1 is greater than 0, then do this particular task, else do the other job. The same way comes with the when statement. When there is a family of Debian OS, let's do one of the job on the Debian family, and if family of OS is Red Hat or Windows, do rest of the other tasks on those family members of OS. So that's the same concept comes into picture when we interact with Ansible conditions. Now within Ansible, we use when statement, when conditional statement. As I said in my example, let's say we have a different flavor of OS, Debian family, Red Hat family, Windows family. I just want to install an Apache on Red Hat family. So what I can do, I can define a when statement, install Apache when the family member of OS is Red Hat or Debian or Windows or whatever the family of OS we have. Like do one set of job on this particular condition and skip rest of the OS, right? So that's what the condition is all about. Now, in a playbook, let's say if you may want to execute a different task, different goals, depending on the value of the fact, data about the remote system, variable, result of the previous task, then you can use condition statement over here. You may want to use the value of some variable to depend on the value of other variables as well. Or you may want to create an additional group of hosts, as I said, Debian, then Red Hat, then Windows. Based on whether the host match the other criteria, you can do everything with the help of conditions. And that's where we define conditions. You have to define tasks where basically the action needs to be performed, install Apache, and at the bottom of task, just define when colon and the condition. Like Ansible OS family is equal to Debian, or Ansible OS family is equal to Red Hat or Windows. Depend upon what kind of family member of OS you are trying to interact with. So that's what Ansible conditions are all about from the conceptual part. Let's move ahead. Now in this slide, I have written a condition.yml playbook, which is doing the same stuff, installing Apache, but with the help of condition. Now, before deep diving into the playbook, just wanted to go over again the layout of Ansible architecture with the help of conditions only. Now, we have a controller engine, we have all the managed nodes. Now, consider the first managed node is my CentOS, which is from the Red Hat family. Second managed node is from Debian family. Third managed node is from Windows family. Now I want to install Apache only on, let's say, Red Hat family. What should I do? In that case, obviously there are like multiple ways of doing it. Create a group within the inventory of all the Red Hat family members, all the Debian family members, all the Windows family members, and run based upon the host group. Now, if you don't want to play around with host group, let's say you just want to have one inventory file consisting of all the Linux server, all the Windows server. In that case, within Linux world, you have Debian, you have Red Hat family, right? So I just want to install Apache on Red Hat family. So in that case, condition will be helpful. I'm going to write within the task where the actions get performed. Hey, when my OS family is Red Hat, install Apache and skip rest of my family members of Linux flavors. So in that case, the Debian family member will not get installed with Apache or any certain operation that I want to perform only on the Red Hat or only on Windows or only on Debian family. In that case, the condition is very helpful. Now, coming back to the playbook, I'm not going to discuss playbook in detail because we have already done a detailed demo, the conceptual part and the practical demo. We have written a lot of playbook in our previous lecture. So instead of going into a deep dive, I just want to give you a glimpse of what is written over here. Now, this is basically your target section. Then we are defining a task. Within that task, we are giving this instruction that you have to install Apache. Again, starting with 3 dash commenting, that's my condition playbook. Then on which host coming from the inventory, web server is my group within the inventory define. User is Ansible admin, the user which we have created on managed node and all the controller nodes as well. Then we have connection, become is for sudo privilege, then gather facts where I'm getting the IP address. Within the task, name, install httpd on Red Hat. Remember, this is just a statement. It can be written like anything. Then we are performing an action. Yum, name is equal to httpd, state is equal to present. But with a condition, when my Ansible OS family member is Red Hat. Remember another thing, while you're writing a Red Hat family, the R and H has to be in caps. The second operation is name install httpd on Ubuntu. It has to be Apache, not httpd, because on Ubuntu you cannot write httpd. It has to be Apache too. Command, again as I said, this is a statement. It can be written like anything. And now here compare, like I'm using command instead of action. This is basically coming from YAML formatting. Command, where you can also use a Linux based commands over here. Apt-get, which we use for the Ubuntu system. Name is equals to Apache 2, state is equal to present. When my family member, Ansible family member is Debian. Now let's say if I don't give when Ansible family member is equal to Debian, will it install? No, it will not, because the first condition is saying like Ansible OS family is equal to Red Hat, then only install Apache. I'm not mentioning anything over here. Or let's say if you have not mentioned the condition over here, then what it will do, it will go ahead and whatever servers you have mentioned in your inventory, it will try to install on each server. It will fail on the Ubuntu system because you are using yum, name is equal to httpd, state is equal to present. In Ubuntu system, httpd, it will not read anything. It has to be Apache 2. So it will pass, fail, pass, fail, pass, fail, depend upon how many number of servers you have in CentOS or Red Hat family, how many members you have in Ubuntu family. So based on that, the condition works. Okay, so I hope this clears a lot in terms of the conceptual part plus the playbook part of conditions. Let's do a practical demo just to make it more clear. Discard. So this is my terminal. This is my terminal. So let me check something real quick. Ansible all -m ping. Just wanted to check if my notes are working or not. Yes, notes are working, which is very good. Now, in order to test out our template or playbook, first of all, we have to write a playbook, which is sudo vi condition.yml. Okay, enter, shift I, starting with 3 dash, then commenting, which is a £, my condition check playbook, then starting with host, which is my web server from the inventory, then space user, then it has to be Ansible admin, Ansible admin, yep. Then become to gain the sudo privilege, yes, I want that. Then connection, it has to be SSH because we are into the Linux world. Then gather fact, I also want to gather facts, gather FAC, come on, CTS, yes. Okay, gathering a fact is done. Then we define task, come on, what is happening today, TASKS. Okay, now here let's use name colon install httpd on Red Hat. Okay, then again space, and this time we have to give action, not dash, action, yum name equals to httpd state equals to present, again spaces, when I'm going to have a when condition colon Ansible OS family equals to R caps red H caps, and it has to be in double inverted comma. So that part is done. Since I will also try to install Debian, but I don't have a Debian, I should be getting an error, right? Because I don't have a Debian system with me. Name install Apache 2 on Ubuntu. Ubuntu. Sorry for the spelling mistake if I'm doing any. Okay. Now here, instead of action, which is coming from the YAML formatting, I am going to use Linux space command. So for Ubuntu, apt-get has to be used because it doesn't work with yum. That's the package that we use to install any kind of packages with apt-get. Name equals to Apache 2 APA Apache 2 state equals to present, with condition. Let's give a condition when Ansible underscore OS underscore family equals to double inverted comma DEBIAN. Perfect. So that's what my playbook is all about. Save it. Saved. Now before doing the execution of playbook, first of all we will try to do a syntax check, which we called as dry run as well. So for that, if you remember the syntax, Ansible playbook, then call your playbook dash dash or hyphen hyphen syntax check. Okay, so there is no issue with our playbook. It is perfectly fine from the syntax perspective. Let's run that playbook now, which is Ansible playbook condition.yaml. Enter. It's gathering a fact, that is okay. Installing HTTPD on Red Hat. Now changed, which means it has installed. Installing Apache 2 on Ubuntu. Skipping because we don't have any Ubuntu system, so there is no error over there. Now that's a recap. OK is equals to 2 because it gathered the fact. Install Apache. Change is equal to 1 because the gathering fact is just an IP address, right? Change means it's already installed on Red Hat family. Unreachable, nothing is there. Failed, nothing. Skipped because I don't have a Debian family system. So which means if I go to my this server systemctl status httpd should be have Apache installed on it. Yes, Apache is installed. I don't have Apache running because I haven't used handler for that. So that's how the playbook for the conditions in Ansible gets executed, and that's how you see the results, right? So I hope this clears a lot in terms of conditions. Let's go back to our presentation now. Okay, let me play from current slide, grab the pen. Okay, another important topic over here is Vault. Now, what exactly Vault is? In most of the cloud environment or in most of your production environment, you must be using a Vault. Vault is just to store your secrets, right? Keep the sensitive data such as password or keys in the encrypted format rather than in a plain text, because we always want to protect our data from the security standpoint of view. And that's what Ansible Vault is also all about, with a feature within Ansible where you can keep the sensitive data such as password or keys in an encrypted format. You can also decrypt it. There are like certain operations that you can perform with Vault where you can decrypt the file, you can encrypt the file, you can read the file after decrypting it. You can also re-encrypt it. So again, a lot of different operations that most of the commands that we'll be going to run in our practical lab. Now, why Vault is required? As I said, from the security standpoint of view, I have written, let's say I have written a playbook, something.yaml, right? abc.yaml. Within that, I have certain commands, certain operations has to be performed in that playbook. I don't want everybody to read that playbook. In that case, I'm going to encrypt that particular playbook. And while reading out the playbook, you can use the key to decrypt it and read out the value and edit the playbook as per the requirement. Just to protect the files out of from different team members who have also access to the servers. That's why Vault is very important. Ansible Vault encrypts variables files so that you can protect sensitive content such as password keys, as I mentioned earlier, rather than leaving it in a visible plain text format. Even in most of the cloud world or in most of the production environment, we try to keep our passwords in a encrypted format so nobody can see that or hack that password. It uses AES 256 encryption, which is the latest one. Also use the password with Ansible Vault command line tool to create and view encrypted variable, create encrypted file, encrypt the existing file, edit, rekey, decrypt it. Rekey means you can create a new password on top of that if you forgot the password. You can then place the encrypted content under the source control and share it with other team members if required in a more safety way. That's what Ansible Vault is all about. We have Secrets Manager in AWS, which is kind of a vault. We have Azure Vault. We have KeePass, like a third party vendor. We have LastPass, like a lot of different vendors also present in the market that give us this kind of functionality. But within Ansible, it's giving a module as Vault to users. Now, coming back to our practical demo, it will be a real quick. Now, let's say if you want to create a new playbook with an encrypted format, then what you can do, you have to use Ansible-Vault create vault.yaml or whatever the file name you have for your playbook. You can edit as well the encrypted playbook. For that, you have to click on edit and it will ask you for the password if it is encrypted. If you want to change the password, then use a rekey. If you want to encrypt the existing playbook, then you have to use encrypt and the playbook name. If you want to decrypt the file, then use decrypted. So let's go back to our terminal again, to the controller engine, and do a quick demo over here. Let me clear this out. Let's see what all we have. We have these files, right? So now we will be performing each command one by one. First command, to create a playbook with encrypted format. So for that, Ansible Vault, then I'm going to use create vault.yml. Okay, asking for the password 12345 test at 12345. I guess password mismatch. No, it's perfect. So I have copied the YAML file. Let's save it. Now, password file created, vault.yaml is created and it is encrypted. If I want to edit this file, will I be able to see the content? Let's try that. Sudo vi vault.yaml. As you can see, all the content is encrypted with AES 256. So we cannot edit this file or we cannot view this file. In order to view this file, what you have to do, Ansible Vault, 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 edit, vault.yaml, and asking for the password test at 12345, enter. Now you can edit this file, you can save this file and execute as per your requirement. Perfect. So we created the file, we edited the file. Now in order to rekey the file, rekey means, let's say now today I have to change, I have a password, now I have to change it, right? In order to keep the rotation of the password as part of the security best practices, what you can do, Ansible Vault rekey vault.yaml. asking for the first password, which is test at 12345. Now the new password, test at 1234, test at 1234. I guess I made a mistake. Yeah, the vault password doesn't matches. I mean, typo. 12345, that's the old password. Test at 1234, test at 1234. Perfect. So the new password is created as well successfully. So the rekey is done. Now, in order to encrypt the existing file, what you have to do, Ansible Vault, and then in encrypt encrypt. Let's take what, condition.yaml file, enter, new password, again 12345, 12345. This is probably a bug. Okay, permission denied. Why it's permission denied, that's something I need to check. Don't think so sudo is required, but let me try that. Ideally it should not. Let's try. Okay, encryption successful. Perfect. I guess there is some issue with that file, so let me try another file, because I have a swipe copy of that file as well. Encrypt, let's say fourth YAML, and I'm going to remove sudo. Again, this is something I'm testing in front of you, trying to troubleshoot as well, so that will be helpful for you guys too. New password, then confirm password. Yeah, you need a sudo privilege to perform this encryption of an existing file. Now it's your turn to play around with conditions and vault within the playbook. Create a playbook, create a condition within that, have multiple flavors of OS into your inventory system, try to install or try to perform some sort of task based upon condition of your OS family. Try to encrypt that file with the help of vault, change password, decrypt it, and play around with all these systems. These are very important, guys, and if you're facing any issue, place out a comment in comment section. I'll be there to help you, and in next lecture we will try to understand Ansible rules. Have a nice day. Bye bye.